Before we begin, thank you very much to Nicola D for joining my Patreon campaign. Very appreciated. Thank you so much for the support. I would like to ramble on about how much it means and how many shout-outs I still have to do. However, we have a very long news recap, and these news recaps, these news roundups are already like way overbloated every time because I can't stop talking. So we're going to hit these as quick as possible. We're going to go straight into it. And we're going to hit something very quickly that we already talked about, but it's worth noting because it was pretty major news. We know that Hasbro is returning to plastic packaging. Windows on the boxes, bubble and blister packs, those are coming back. In fact, I just saw the new Spider-Verse Marvel Legends. They are on blister cards. So we're getting a return. We're getting a return of the packaging the collectors like. It's not specifically stated that it's going to happen to Transformers yet, but the news was reported directly to Transformers websites via Hasbro, so it's likely to include Transformers in the future. The point of this that I mentioned is, like, remember, I'm always very iffy about why these choices are made. I thought the windowless packaging was less about environment and more about cost cutting, because they still did do blister packages for collector-centric things, retro releases, a lot of Black Series reissues, that kind of thing. So, at best, they were like half and half on the whole idea. And likewise, like, the new plastic is going to be biodegradable, etc., etc. So, okay, so they're making efforts, and it's going to be recycled material, so they're making efforts to split the gap. But just as I'm not sure that this has to do with pleasing collectors, I also believe this is pleasing retailers who have probably gotten a lot of complaints about damaged or stolen product for the last year of this going on. So again, I'm a little bit iffy about this. I'm a little bit iffy about their true motives behind it. But for us collectors who like mint-in sealed stuff, our boxes are going to be sealed again soon. So worth noting again, just in case you missed it the first time. But let's get to actual Transformer news. So we start off as usual with any new rumors or listings that have come up, and we have two new ones. They're both core class for Legacy Uni, and we still do not know exactly if that's Unicron, Universe. I assume it's going to be Universe. But we do have core class Beast Wars Dinobot and Beast Machines Cheetor. Now, they couldn't get Cheetor's design right when Beast Machines was brand new. I think the closest we got was the titanium to actually coming out looking good. And now they're going to try it at core class, so that's going to be interesting. The Dinobot is also just kind of a fascinating choice. Dinobot is a very difficult toy to get right because the robot mode cheated so much in the animation. So I'm really curious about how they're going to pull this one off, especially how good the Beast mode is going to look if it's just a very simplified version of the Voyager. We have yet to see. What I do find exciting about that is that a core class is so easy to repaint and remold. I would love to see all these different versions of that Dinobot mold that they did from the original tooling. There's a lot of them. And at core class, you could probably get a lot more of them out. So keep an eye on these. We have not seen any visuals on them yet, but at the very least we know that before it goes out, Legacy will be throwing in just a little bit of Beast Machines. Now let's get to new stuff that we've seen. So we've got a smattering of just random new product. It starts with a Battle Changer Scourge. So the Battle Changers are basically just very simple Transformers. They're all at the same scale. I don't believe they're automorph. I think they just have normal step-by-step transformations. They're just very easy figures for kids to mess with, as opposed to the ones we're going to have. So we see Scourge, who is, he's green now, so you can tell it's a kid's line because they threw in a lot more color than normal. It's not a bad look for him, but it is very much Dark of the Moon Megatron the more you look at him. Then we also have like super potato quality pictures of Scourge and Scorponok as a Beast Alliance figure. And once again, looking ridiculous with how, where his shoulders are in comparison to where his new head is. These always look a little bit goofy. It's a fun gimmick to mess around with, but it always does look a little bit goofy. And again, Scourge is not in his all-black deco. Now he's a bronze color. So we got to keep it interesting for the kids, I guess. An in-package shot of Autobot Mirage from the main line. But then we also get the out-of-package shot is actually for the Battle Changer Mirage. So again, you can see how simplified it is. Very low articulation, very simple transformation. It's a Transformer toy for a little kid. Nothing too complex. But hey, vehicle mode actually looks pretty good considering it's a very simple figure. And then the individual for Wheeljack and Nightbird. So these, even more movie product on the way to collect. What's weird about this is the Battle Changer Mirage has already been cited. This is so weird. This is so weird. It feels like where is the communication from Hasbro about all of this, where there's so much stuff that like either Takara is announcing first when they post pre-orders, or they just show up at retail and Hasbro didn't even tell us that these toys were in production. It's weird. It's a weird time at Hasbro with what they are and aren't revealing. In a way, it's kind of exciting to just see something really cool just pop up out of nowhere, but at the same time, a little bit of transparency so I can prepare my budget, So, moving on from there, we also have a new look at the Beast Mode Optimus Prime. We saw the listings for this. We saw how silly the Bumblebee looked. And the Prime doesn't look much better. I joked on Twitter that he was a Brave series character now because he got to have a lion head poking out of his chest. So yeah, it's a simple Optimus Prime toy. It's actually not too bad looking as far as like a simple Prime figure goes. It's more like the box truck style that a lot of the simplified figures have been lately. And yeah, you hit a button and it'll flip these panels out, which I guess to give him like wings if he's I guess he's a manticore or something. Yeah, and he gets little claws too. So just like Bumblebee, it's a very silly and kind of simple gimmick. But hey, I'm sure someone will be into it just for how ridiculous it is. And beyond that, like, it actually looks like he's got some level of articulation, so it looks like he might not even be that bad individually. All right, let's talk about a rumor. I mean, not a rumor, but like this is like just like a super weird thing. So Akiko Wada is a idol in Japan who is, I believe, the brand ambassador for Transformers for the Rise of the Beast movie in Japan. So she's doing all the commercials. And these commercials included this shot, which was very particular, of her actually transforming into Optimus Primal, which is an interesting shot because it's not a CG model per se. There are visible gaps for pins and hinges, which only exist on a toy figure, meaning what we're seeing here is actually a toy that we have not seen a full production shot of. And the suspicion is that this is a rumored Ultimate Optimus Primal toy, a Primal for the movie that stands roughly 10 to 12 inches tall. And if this is our first look at it, that is absolutely absurd. The fact that a Japanese Idol's effects department revealed this toy before anyone else did for a weird commercial is amazing to me. And I kind of love when stuff gets revealed like this because it's just so out of left field. I mean, I could go on about the same point about Hasbro not communicating what's coming out, but also this is just funny. This is just funny. So I'm going to appreciate it for what it is. But yeah, so we get a brief look at it. I mean, at least it's got a lot more silver highlights, so at least it pops a little bit more than some of the others. We've seen like the mainline Primal now. Some boring looking figures are coming out for Primal, and it's sad. So maybe this one will be a little bit flashier. Speaking of flashier, so the Beast Wars versus series, Beast War, whatever the title is, it's a really long title, and I don't care. I have not been awake long enough to remember it. But we are getting more of them, which is cool to see. So Rhinox and Scorponok are up next in a 2-pack. Rhinox in American releases has never really done well in the coloring department. It always seems like his shades of brown especially just never match the look of the cartoons. So I'm actually really happy Takara's giving this another go. He's got the beady eyes. He's got a much more like Rhinox-ish color scheme. So yeah, it's looking a lot better. Scorponok is weird. Scorponok's got a really weird thing going. This doesn't really look like Scorponok in the show. Not from what I can remember. I remember him being two-tone, but I don't remember him being like silver in Beast Mode. That's a weird call from Takara. Definitely makes him different, I guess. But yeah, like you got another Versus pack on the way. I presume since all of the Season 1 Maximals and Predacons have been accounted for, Takara could potentially do this for everyone. So all of them will get premium color upgrades. It would be cool to see. Maybe out of my budget. I don't normally buy just for the sake of like a minor upgrade, but cool that they're out there for those who really want these toys to be as perfect as possible, or as perfect as that Rhinox can get anyway. All right. We also have new in-hand shots of Barricade from the new Gamer Edition. So this is War for Cybertron Barricade. Not too many pictures, but he's looking good in what he does have. It's hard to see if he has heel spurs here, but something is keeping him aloft, even with that big backpack of parts. He doesn't look bad. The vehicle mode looks amazing. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to wait. I need more in-hand shots than this. I need more angles to decide if the toy is going to be for me. I mean, it's a cool-looking figure, but it's also in that realm of, I wasn't huge on the High Moon games. So, like, how much do I really need it? Like, I might get Prime and Megatron, but I'm not sure if I would actually be after anybody else besides that. So, it's a wait and see for me, and hopefully these turn out really, really good. All right. We got more from Mark from the design team at Hasbro, doing some behind-the-scenes looks at some of the recently revealed figures, starting with Devcon. We found out that Devcon is a retool of Blur. However, we'll get to the in-hand shot here first. Like, hey, with smokescreen, he mentioned that he didn't have a smokescreen on hand when the final version came in, so all he has is the prototype photo that he took before. But we can see, yeah, he's got a lot of play in all those blaster accessories. They can come off. They can be a jetpack. You got a lot of different things you can do, which is cool. Yeah, if you want just full-on combat mode, there you go. But here he is next to a Blur mold, and you can see just like they kept the engineering structure for the sake of the transformation, and that's basically it. He shares the thighs and the hands, I think, and I'm pretty sure that's all the parts he shares. There might be some internals. Oh, the feet, too. Oh, can't forget the feet. There might be some internals that are the same, too, because these are going to have very similar transformation structures. But, yeah, it's kind of amazing that any of Blur exists in that Devcon. It might as well have been its own new toy completely. Yeah, and it looks good. I mean, it looks as close to a Devcon as we're going to get. Yeah, so not too bad, not too bad. Might pick this one up, because it's a long time coming for that character. And we also got more shots of Beachcomber. Nothing too revealing in the behind the scenes on this one. Mark was just really excited about the brush guard that became a weapon. He was really excited about the parrot being incorporated. I mean, it's a fun detail, but again, I feel like that's going to be his Energon goodie box from the cup mold, where like every retool of this toy is going to get that parrot in another color. It'd be funny. They also mentioned that Mark also mentioned that he wasn't happy with how the head sculpt came out for the previous Beachcomber from Titan's Return, because it had this weird goatee that was on it for some reason. So this time they tried to stay as accurate to the cartoon head design as they could, and they nailed it pretty good, I would say. A little sharper, but nothing too wrong about that. Yeah, it looks fine. Looks fine to me. Looks like Beachcomber. They also reiterated, yes, the tires are PVC, so they're going to have a much nicer time rolling. They're also pinned. So they really wanted rolling to be the feature on this figure. And Beachcomber's design, a little bit dull overall, I feel. I mean, he doesn't look bad, but like he's literally just one of those like straighten out arms, flip front out, there's your vehicle kind of Transformers. So cool that they're working in a little bit of extra play feature for the vehicle mode, because the vehicle modes get neglected a lot these days. But yeah, it's cool, and it can almost fit a Titan Master, almost, if he's standing up while driving. Alright, so for those of you who are out for Rise of the Beast toys, you're going to be in luck because they're not going to be hard to spot. We have these giant cardboard displays for toys that are going to be shown off at Walmart here. But if you're very observant, you'll also find displays at Walmart that are paired with Fandango. Scan the app, scan your receipt, and as long as you buy 2 toys, you get a $10 reward for Fandango, which I assume is like toward movie tickets. So If you're gonna go to a movie anyway and you want to and you're buying Transformers at the, if you just happen to be in the mood for both, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Get yourself some money off. Always a good thing these days. Yeah, it's going to be very easy to spot once those toys are out in your area. All right. Now, if you need something that is a little bit more DIY, Yolopark has brand new model kits based on Dark of the Moon coming out. Prime basically just kind of looks like every movie Prime from the first 3 movies, so no real shock there. It's the Megatron who is the real eye catcher here because he's just gigantic and super beefy. Now, of course, these don't transform. They're just model kits. But as far as like accurate depictions of these characters, it's going to be a pretty good alternative to buying like a big expensive masterpiece or something, or a big high-end statue. These do run a little bit more expensive if I remember, because these are a larger scale that they do. Yeah, 30 centimeter and 35 centimeter on that Megatron. That Megatron's going to be expensive. But definitely something worth keeping an eye on if you like your complex model kit figures. If you want something a little bit simpler, Yolopark is introducing the AMK Pro series, which is starting off with a Megatron who does look pretty good. These are smaller kits around the 20 centimeter scale, so it's going to be much cheaper, more affordable. I'm going to assume the final model that was available on the show floor for this particular display, maybe not the best of joints. Maybe the polycaps were a little bit worn out or something, because he's looking kind of, I don't know, he's looking a little out of it in these shots. It's not bad looking, though. Now, of course, I expect this to have been professionally painted, so your final kit is most likely just going to be molded in the base colors, and everything else is up to you. But it looks really good, and it's really cool to see like the potential the mold has if you want to put some extra work into it. Hey, customizers, I'm looking at you. The display also showed off a teaser, if we can actually get to the photo, for some Rise of the Beast kits at the same scale, Primal, Prime, and Bumblebee. So, of course, your 3 heroes you have to have for the movie. So, really cool, and if these are a good thing, maybe this is like the rival to the Flame Toy kits. You know, if you want something that works like that, but more G1 centric or more current product centric, you go for Yolopark instead, right? Seems like a plan to me. All right. So here's a nice little bit of confirmation. We got one more actor confirmed for Rise of the Beast. I apologize because I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I do not want to butcher it. More to the point, it is nice to hear that Cheetor has speaking lines, because it's been a little bit iffy about how many lines these Maximals are actually going to get, because we haven't really seen a whole lot of them in the trailer. We literally see one shot of Cheetor from the back, and that's all, and he's not speaking, he's just running. So we had no idea. We have no idea how much time they're going to get. Only that the actor was reading at least some lines. At least some lines. So Cheetor gets to speak at least. Oh, trying to rush through, and now I'm getting out of breath here. All right, so the oddball stuff for the week. This is cool. I retweeted this when it got posted. So, Jason Jansen, Hollywood name if I've ever heard one, is the guy who played Tommy Kennedy in the Season 5 Transformer episodes. Season 5 was essentially a super condensed version. It was basically the movie chopped up into 5 parts. It was More Than Meets the Eye, the first episodes. It was 5 Faces of Darkness and Dark Awakening and Return of Optimus Prime. That's basically all of Season 5. So basically just like a super abbreviated storyline for the entirety of Gen 1. Think of it as G1 abridged. But it was bookended by these live-action segments where Power Master Optimus Prime would talk to Tommy. And the hilarious thing for me about these adverts was always there was no current product on the shelves, so Prime would just be mentioning the names of characters that had current toys, who of course weren't in the cartoon, to kind of at least make some kids aware that these characters exist, I guess. But yeah, it shows, it's 30 minutes of behind the scenes footage of the creators of the commercial and the engineers for this massive stage size puppet actually working Optimus Prime while Peter Cullen's voice clips are playing, and just showing like how all of these segments were actually made. It's a really cool thing. It's a rare piece of lost footage that you never thought you'd get the chance to see. But I love behind the scenes stuff like this. I like to see how the sausage is made, and this is cool. I mean, it's just a surreal little thing to see, like this gigantic, like stage size Optimus Prime and just a hand. That's it. His head, a part of his chest, and a hand. But at least we get to see it, because I didn't think we ever would. All right, if you need something more to buy that isn't transformable, Funko Pop is doing a retro G1 Optimus Prime with lights and sounds. So it's pretty much just his standard pop with a new pose. Fine. New pedestal as well. But yeah, head and chest light up gimmick. It's very rare that they actually do electronic Funko Pops, so it's kind of interesting that they're doing one for Optimus. It's online only, so you're not going to find it in a store. So for you pop collectors, keep an eye out on their exclusive section. Wait for it to come up. It'll probably go fast, knowing Funkos. Okay, meanwhile, so this is a toy line in China called Mini World, and Mini World is doing a crossover with Transformers in a very strange, like, an almost like Beast Box style approach. You have mini Transformer figures with boxes that represent their vehicle modes, and the boxes can not only like store the toy in this super weird way, but it can also transform into a little display base / battle platform for the minifigures. It's a cute little design. That's like the meanest looking Bumblebee I've ever seen, because it's G1 Bumblebee with a battle mask on. That's not the normal thing. But yeah, you get a standard crew of 6 in the box: Prime, Rodimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, Galvatron, Starscream. Nice selection. You know, Megatron and Galvatron and Rodimus usually get left out of things like this. So you usually put like Soundwave and Grimlock or something. So it's nice to see those included. And you can see just like, you can see what the boxes are doing. It's a cute little attempt. It's a cute little attempt to make some kind of like weird vehicle. These are individually sold too. You don't want all of them. Yeah, I don't know how hard these are going to be to get out of China, but for oddball collectors, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. They're kind of cute. All right, so here's something that's usually a big deal. They announced the Hallmark Ornament for Transformers this year, which is going to be Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal in his beast mode, just hanging from your Christmas tree like a big gray monkey. He's so monkey in this design that I really feel like you're going to have people like, why is there a monkey hanging on your Christmas tree? Like, no, that's a Transformer. That's a monkey. Why do you have a monkey hanging on your tree? This is to me, it's fun though. These are surprisingly collectible. I've got a Soundwave that is worth like $60 now. Like it's kind of crazy how much they can go for. But yeah, one more for you collectors out there, because I know there's people who collect these. And to finish us off, the Calm app. I think we've discussed the Calm app before, where they were doing like a story by Peter Cullen about the history of the Transformers and the origins. The Calm app is for giving you like relaxing audio to sleep to, and they have things for kids. They're basically bedtime stories. And this one is for Robbie and Mo from Earthspark, just telling you a story about how they met their friends and how the Terrans came to be, etc. It's very calming, very soothing, and if you're having trouble sleeping, who knows, this one might actually put you out. Alright, so that is going to do us for the news roundup this week. Tried to get through it very quickly and still ran up at the 25-minute mark, so thank you guys for watching for a long news roundup. I tried my best. There was a lot this week. And guess what? With a major movie coming out soon, there's probably going to be a lot more to talk about. So these news roundups are probably going to be long for a while. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.